Hey y'all, welcome back to Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. I'm Roger and glad to have y'all here with us today. So y'all, if you've been to the grocery store lately and looked at the price of meat, you see everything has just gone up so much that, you know, I usually just walk away because I'm just not going to pay those kind of prices for a roast especially. You know, last time I was at the store and was looking at roast, just a regular chuck roast, a very small one was like $18 and a big one was almost 25. That's just crazy, guys. So we came up with a recipe a long time ago, and it kind of fits in to the way things are priced today. And so we call it the back porch poor man's skillet roast. That's a lot to say all at one time. But with this one, instead of using a pot roast or chuck roast, we use hamburger. But the great thing about this is once you get it cooked, it's got that taste of that Sunday slow cooked pot roast. So that's what we're going to be making today, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. It's a one pot meal and it tastes great. So just sit back and relax, get you a cold drink, and we're going to get started making this pot roast, or well, not pot roast, but our poor man's roast.
That rocker keeps a gentle sway to wash the hurry of the day. Mason jar is sweating cold, pinto pot is on the simmer. That skillet cornbread is a winner, and the sun is dipping low in gold. Yeah, the sun is dipping low in gold.
So now normally when we make this, we only use 1 pound of ground beef, but today my son's going to be coming over and he's going to take some home with him. So I'm going to use 2 pounds in what I'm doing today. But the recipe I'll leave you in the description will be for using 1 pound of burger. And then if you want to add more to it, you can add more to it. We've got our 2 pounds of, this is 80/20 burger that we're going to be using. And now we want to season it up. So we're going to put some salt in there with it. And we're going to do some black pepper. And we're going to add some garlic powder. And some onion powder. And a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Now that Worcestershire sauce is going to give it a little bit of that roast flavor. So that's all the seasonings that we're going to use. All right, so our burger started cooking. Now, because I want to leave this in bigger chunks, I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on it. And that way the steam will cook the burger kind of in the chunks. It's still going to break up on you, but you want it to be in bigger pieces. Our hamburger's cooking up pretty good, so we're going to give it a little bit of a stir, just kind of to break up those pieces a little bit. Like I say, don't stir it too hard because you do want it to still be in pretty good sized chunks. Now we're going to put the lid back on it and let it finish cooking. So we have drained the biggest part of the juices off of this and grease, but we did leave just a little bit in the bottom of the skillet. And now we are going to add our onions. And now I chopped these onions the other day for another recipe that I was doing, and I'm just going to use them up. Now you can leave your onions, you can chop them, you can leave them in bigger pieces, just totally up to you. And we're just going to give them a stir. And as you can see, my hamburger meat has stayed in pretty good sized chunks, which is what I want. That way it's more like you get a piece of roast when you get some of this hamburger. All right, so we got our onions in there. And now we're going to add our potatoes. And these are Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use whatever kind of potatoes that you want to use. And remember, I'm going to leave you a recipe for the 1 pound version, not the version I'm making here, because we're going to make a big batch of it. That's got our potatoes in there. And then we're going to add some carrots into it. Carrots in. And we're just going to cover this back up for right now and let that kind of simmer just a little bit to get the carrots and everything started. And then we're going to make our gravy. So we're going to get started making our gravy. So the first thing we got is 2 cups of cold water. Has to be cold water to use this method. And what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to this. Now, if y'all have never used cornstarch to make a slurry before, the thing of it is if you're using hot water, this cornstarch will never dissolve. So that's why you've got to use the cold water. So we got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in there. And now we're going to stir that up. We want it to completely dissolve in this cold water. So we've dissolved our cornstarch really nicely now. Don't feel any chunks or anything in the bottom. And what we're going to do now is we're going to heat this up. So now there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can do the cornstarch in the cold water, put it in the microwave for about 30-40 seconds, get it warmed back up, give it a good stir after you take it out. Don't leave it too long because it'll start to thicken if you leave it for too long. Now, we're using a beef base. Now, you can buy these at the grocery store, or if you want to go a little cheaper route, you can do bouillon cubes, beef bouillon cubes. Or you can get beef broth and then get you 2 cups of beef broth, put you the tablespoon of cornstarch in your beef broth, and you can do it that way. So it's just there's about 3 different methods that you can use there. So I'm going to get this one. We use a tablespoon of the base for every cup of water. Now that water's heated, so our beef base is going to stir up, and it's going to turn everything brown. And you just kind of keep stirring and mashing on the beef base if you're using it. So we got our beef base and our cornstarch all melted together. And now we're just going to pour it right in on top of this mixture. And then we want to take our spatula. We're going to go down in there and we're going to stir all that up now. And you don't want to stir too often, because if you do, you're going to break all your hamburger meat up and you won't have chunks anymore. It'll look like a chili or spaghetti or something like that. And now we're going to put our lid back on and we're going to let it cook on low. All right, y'all. So after about 35 minutes on the stovetop covered, and I had it sitting on a 3 on my stove, so it's kind of a medium low. This is what we wound up with, and it sure does look good. Look at that gravy all over those potatoes, big old chunks of hamburger, carrots. It looks delicious. So we got a pan of cornbread in the oven right now. And as soon as that cornbread is ready, we're going to get us a bowl out and we're going to have some back porch poor man's skillet roast. While our cornbread is out of the oven, I just want you to see our pan of cornbread. Is that not some beautiful cornbread? All right, so we're going to get us a bowl of this, get us a piece of cornbread. Well, here's our bowl of back porch poor man's skillet roast, and I can't wait to taste it. I am ready to try this. My mouth is watering. It smells so good. That gravy turned out great, and so let's give it a try and see how it tastes. So I've got me a carrot, I got a piece of meat, and I got a potato on my spoon. Hopefully I can get all this in my mouth. So let's see how it is. Mmm. Mmm. That is so, so, so good. It tastes like a Sunday pot roast. Yes, it's got hamburger in it, so a little bit of a different flavor, but that gravy, potatoes, and carrots takes me right back to a Sunday dinner. So, guys, y'all really need to try this. This is something that is much less expensive than doing a pot roast, and the flavor is really good. Make you some cornbread to go with it. I'll leave you my cornbread recipe in the description, or a link to the cornbread recipe so you can go on there and look at that cornbread recipe. If you don't know how or don't have a good cornbread recipe, I'm telling you, the one we've got is awesome. So I'll leave you that link. And all I can say is, guys, make this for your family, share it with your friends. I promise you, they will love you for it. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Click on that bell so you get notifications when we post a new video. And guys, make this. I'm telling you, it is delicious. So we'll see you next time. We appreciate you being here. Y'all have a great day.